Hello, welcome to the Horror House Podcast. I'm Dave.
I'm Chris. Am I way behind everybody?
Jeff?
Oh, everything froze.
Oh yeah, he
Oh.
did freeze for a second.
I'm Jeff.
That's Jeff. And I'm Tim.
Notice,
And
none of us are Barry.
none of us,
Barry.
We're going to keep it that way.
we can only pray that you're not a Barry out there either.
Don't
We're
be a
four
Barry.
guys. We're four guys that like to talk about horror, movies, real life. And tonight, it's Jeff's pick. Jeff, what are you all right? What led you to pick fried berry?
Who hurt
We're worried
you?
about your mental health.
No, I'd seen it when it was on Shudder a few years back.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like, oh,
okay.
this is crazy. It's a funny movie.
I think with the substance last week and now fried berry, we have surpassed our nudity limit for maybe forever. We'll work around it. We'll
I
figure
feel
something
like
out.
the rabble is about to have an intervention for us if we have any more drug-fueled movies.
There was, I mean, in this one, there was a close up, and I do mean close up cock shot. And it, yeah, no, I mean, it's, you could see the dimples in the dick. You know what I'm saying? Like it was,
Show me on the pencil what happened.
bring the pencil over here. Turn the pencil sideways. Okay, ready? That's what happened.
Oh, you
And it was
touched
rough.
Oh.
Okay, so
We should get it on VHS. Thank you, Jen Happens. Absolutely. Jen loves close-up cock shots.
this one is interesting. This one is for sure interesting.
The close-up cock shot?
Yeah,
Oh, or the movie in general.
yeah,
Yeah.
all of that. All of these things. Now let's I do have a quick production note for the three of you that I forgot to share on purpose. Now that we're live, I can share it with you. Let's try as a group to be nice to me this week. Would be great. That would be great for me personally.
Because we didn't agree that the substance is terrible.
I was
I'm
persecuted
celebrating that we're still together.
for my
We're
beliefs.
still together.
You weren't persecuted. We
I
had
was
a
told-
spirited debate.
As soon as the show was off, two of these guys told me they never wanted to see me again.
That did not happen. That did not happen.
Chris was hallucinating in his rage.
We were getting big echoes.
Jeff's headphones. They're gone. Oh.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Uh-oh. Danger, Will Robbins.
All right, we have got some news. Is that what
We've
we
got
do?
some news. Let's go to the newsroom.
The newsroom.
Hold on, I'm new. Hold on.
I unintentionally, this was not intentional, I didn't realize it until I threw the news hat on right now. I look like I belong in the SNL Two Wild and Crazy Guys skit. Hey, we are four wild and crazy guys!
Hold on. Look at the full effect.
I got the carpet for the ladies, too.
The Ed Hardy horror line is just drapes you so well.
It's beautiful, man. I seriously, I did not realize till I put on the shirt. I have lost 2 buttons on the shirt, as I explained to Chris, probably when I was putting it on the dog. And then he asked stupid question like, "Why would you put your shirt on a dog?" How else am I supposed to know what size shirt to buy the dog?
And I
We're going to
couldn't.
be
But why would
matching
you
shirt
use
buddies
that
this summer.
piece of art to check such a thing? Is what I'm curious about.
I do love this shirt. It's super like cool, like temperature wise. I literally got it for $4 on Temu. # not a sponsor. So, but China, if you're listening, Elon Musk is not the only one who can be bought.
Manchurian Candidate. Been saying it for months. All right. News.
I love those cherries. I mean, I like them. They're fine. Who wants to share some news first? Help yourself.
I'll share the news that no one really gives a shit about except me. I'll share my horror video game news. There's a new game coming out called Dream Cage. It looks fucking horrifying. You guys should go watch the trailer. It's like, I think 2 minutes long. You're basically a person that has sleep paralysis that is being hunted by demons. There's 3 possible endings, and it all takes place in a single apartment. And you're trying to figure out what your affliction is, what's hunting you. There's different anomalies that can come up while the thing is hunting you to try to take you off task. Apparently, from what I'm reading, the anomalies can't hurt you. They're just there to freak you out. So like, they're there literally to take you off task. Like if you're getting like hot, cold, like if you're getting too hot close to the clue, then it like tries to get a get you moment. So I think that's pretty fun. But definitely watch the trailer. It is horrifying. It's an indie dev. It's very like low budget as far as like 3D graphics go, but the ambiance is there. It's very Phasmophobia in its graphics.
Support indie film, support indie developers.
Yes, absolutely. The other thing is that a leaker, a well-known leaker from the Philippines, leaked that Leon Kennedy.
Kegels?
Do what?
They tried Kegels. I heard Kegels help if you leak.
Oh, you know what? I haven't asked them. Don't know their age or proclivity. Right. So I'll have to look into that. But Leon S. Kennedy, my all-time favorite Resident Evil character. Yes, I'm bringing up Resident Evil yet again for like the 5th week in a row. He is by the leaker confirmed to be the main character of Resident Evil 9. And it could take place in China or Russia. That's the going, or maybe both. Resident Evil 6 did have a lot of world hopping.
Come back with the PP tapes. Man, it
potentially, but they are not a KGB agent that was recruited in the 80s. So that's good. And then the third piece of horror news was, by the way, small little piece of news. Steam Next Fest comes up here real soon. There's a lot of demos that come out around that time. And there's a lot of horror games that are indie devs that they put out demos for. So you guys should check that out. And they're free. They're absolutely free. And then the other piece of news, I think I told you guys a couple weeks ago that Resident Evil 0 remake and a movie are potentially in the works. And then there was one other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. Looking through my thing here. Oh, yes, there's a new free point-and-click adventure. If you guys remember those old point-and-click adventure games from like the mid-90s, a lot of fun. My favorite was Sword of Shanra. Chris had to load that up for me every single time because I didn't know how to do DOS commands. He was a very kind man and would do that for me as a fucking 11-year-old kid. But it's called The Flayed Man. Free game, completely free, point-and-click adventure, very old school. Looks pretty fun. So, yeah, if you guys are into free games, you got a PC. The Flayed Man, yeah. And the screenshot they show is pretty gruesome. So, yeah, if you guys got Got a PC? Do you want to play a point-and-click adventure? Check that out on Steam. But that is my news.
Great. Chris, did you have some news? I've got a little bit if you don't.
Yes.
But I think you got some.
I am also
Big
on the
news.
video game train this week because there is a new Terminator game coming out in September something. Terminator 2D, No Fate, side-scrolling Terminator 2. It looks like the best thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Did you see the like animated cutscene things that they do? Like it's very like 80s like
Yeah.
the arcade machine retro.
It is all that I want. It's all that I need right now. I wish I could skip some months and just exist in September. Fuck the rest of this year already. I don't want anything. I don't want anything else. This is all I want.
Warhound next month, dude.
You'll be
After that.
skipping the Superman movie.
Fuck.
Guess somebody
Never
don't
mind.
like Superman.
All right. Fine.
Quick tangent. A lot of people have been given hate to the Superman design. I think he looks fine. Chris, thoughts?
Oh yeah, I think it looks good.
I think
looks good.
we gotta see the full. Gotta get the movie.
Nathan Fillion's in it, so it's gonna be good.
I think I've seen a lot of like speculation. It looks like we're back to the Superman as the big blue Boy Scout, which is probably. I mean, I want extreme Superman. I either want big blue Boy Scout or I want like total '90s extreme. Not really.
Mullet.
Injustice or a
Mullet
bullet Superman.
murder.
I want something extreme. Something has to be extreme about him. I just want Logan. I just want a really good Logan. And I will die happy. Quick review. I've got a quick review. Stella and I finally made it to see Hard Eyes. So if anybody was interested in watching Hard Eyes, starring my boy Devon Sawa, who they did dirty in this movie, by the way. It is pretty standard slasher fare. I mean, I always like a good slasher. There's a concerted effort for this to be a rom-com slasher without being a comedy horror. So it's a pretty straight. The slasher aspect is played pretty straight. Then they have this rom-com with I meant to look up his fucking name. It was the young man from Scream that's been in the last two Screams.
Pete Davidson.
He's in everything now.
He is in everything, but it is not Pete Davidson. It is handsome guy. Skeet Ulrich. No, it is not Skeet Ulrich. I'm just kidding. It is. God damn, yeah. Mason Gooding. So he's a handsome young man. And Olivia Holt, she's a handsome young lady. So they kind of get forced together. That's the kind of rom-comminess of it. They're rivals who happen to meet each other at a coffee shop, drink the exact same, soy frappe fucking drink shit. But then they're rivals, but then hopelessly romantic as well. But the kills, they had some pretty good kills. It tries to twist it up a little bit. It's nothing great, but if you want a Valentine's Day slasher movie, it's pretty solid. I still recommend Valentine over this. Valentine, I feel like, is underrated. From several years ago, the 90s.
Yeah.
Valentine?
So,
yeah.
There are a couple trailers out this week. So the longer, better trailer for Screamboat, which is going to star David Howard Thornton as Steamboat Willie turned supernatural mouse killer.
On Steamboat. Captain of the Steamboat, anyway.
It looks cheesy. I chuckled a few times watching the trailer. There's one at one point it says something like He's not from our world. His world is the happiest place on earth. And then at one point, like somebody, it looks like they discover a dead body, and he's like, I guess it's a small world after all. So they're
just going hard after Disney.
Did we write this?
They're just cheesy enough to make me chuckle.
That's funny.
But also a couple that I did, like Side Effects May Vary, which is about a vaccine that mutates a dude and then he goes on a killing spree. I mean, it looks like maybe there's some hallucinations, but then there's actual effect going on as well, so it looks pretty cool. Demon City, which is a Netflix original that I kind of made it seem like, the article made it seem like it was going to only come to Japan, so I'm going to have to do something about this. It looks like a live action anime. This dude is a hitman for the Japanese mob.
What's it called?
And after, when he decides to retire, they decide to take him and his family out. Leaves him in a coma for 12 years. When he comes out of the coma, he is possessed by a vengeance demon and goes after the mob and is murdering these fucking fools with kung fu and sorcery. But his daughter is still alive.
Demon City was the name.
Demon City?
Demon City. I'm a sucker for some good fucking kung fu.
There is a horror anime called Demon City Shinjuku from 1988. I am wondering.
This might be a live action version of this. I mean, the trailer, I was like, oh, this is a live action anime. This looks really cool as fuck. And then there was
it is currently on Netflix right now that you can watch it. I'm watching a trailer right now. So
I'm calling into work.
It is available.
Watch it. And then I saw the trailer for I See the Demon, which looks really cool. It looks like a synopsis said a girl is walking home. She sees something mysterious in the sky, so it looks like she sees a UFO or something. But then she goes home without incident. And surprise, her friends are all at her house having a surprise birthday party for her. But she tells them she can't remember anything about her day, so she's got this lost time going on. But then things start happening to make her unsure of if the surprise party is real or if she's been like popped into a simulation or something's going on. So it looks really dramatic. It looks pretty well acted. It looks really good. Last, I bought a new book, and it is B. Harrison Smith.
Wait, you know how to read?
I used to be a nerd. I gave it up, but I'm going back to nerding. B. Harrison Smith. So he has made a few horror movies in his time. Most recently, he made one about the kids and the monster at the theme park, and the kids are like cajoling this monster who finally decides to fuck off these kids. But he's written several books too, and they're always like behind the scenes accounts. I mean, he's not literally fucking off the kids. He's like fucking offing the kids.
Oh, offing.
He's written several books. The one I was going to buy was like a behind the scenes of the Leprechaun movie. And then he put out his newest book. Trickle Down. The making of John Carpenter's They Live and his middle finger to Reagan's Making America Great. How could I not buy that motherfucker?
Show us the cover again. There you go.
Oh, I love that zombie Reagan look.
Yes.
That's dope.
Yes.
If only his wife was sucking a dick in the background.
Riley Sager book I was reading. So I will be starting this tomorrow night. So. Very excited.
All right.
And that's all the news I got. I'm newsed out.
We got two.
Oh, no, we have two deaths to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk about the smaller one first. Gene Hackman. has died.
Who?
Mysteriously found dead with his wife also dead and his dog also dead.
Yeah.
So
Fucking weird.
Michael
I
Myers?
was talking about it, and I was talking about it at work. Maybe like carbon monoxide poisoning or like something like that. They all died in their sleep, you know. That's what I hope. I hope it wasn't like some sort of murder suicide situation. Because I love Gene Hackman.
I read an article
Me
that
too.
there was.
And if you're doing murder or suicide, that's bad enough. But then you take the dog with you too. Then
Right.
fuck off.
What'd you hear, Jeff?
There
There's
was
some-
pills found around the bodies, and the way that they landed, they don't.
Yeah.
They had people come in and check for carbon monoxide, and they don't have any definite carbon
So
monoxide
they
poisoning.
think it was like a
yet.
joint suicide,
Possibly.
and the dog probably licked up the pills too, and
But
just
there
went.
was still a couple other dogs.
I'm thinking
that
Gene
didn't
Hackman
die.
died. She took her and the dog's life.
But
Hmm.
I read one of the articles was saying that it had been a minute since it happened, and mummification to a degree was beginning to crazy shit. Crazy shit.
Yeah.
That is some crazy shit. Best known for Lex Luthor for most people, I think. But I will always, I think most remember him as Coach Dale from the movie Hoosiers.
Hoosiers. Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good story. A little bit Hollywoodized story of Milan High School here in Indiana. So
I always remember him. This is a B tier movie, but I fucking love it. Is The Replacements? Nope, The Replacements with Keanu Reeves. It is like, what's his face? There's a guy from The Office in it. He plays a deaf receiver, and it's a star-studded cast. It really is.
It's about the '80s football strike and the scabs that came into play in their place.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun. I love that movie. So I love any good like Hollywood football movie though. But yeah, The Replacements is probably my favorite Gene Hackman movie.
And then, near and dear to the horror house heart, Anthony DeLeo Jr. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation of his last name. Best known as Private Miguel Salazar in Day of the Dead. He has passed away, sadly. All these John Carper friends are passing away. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully he's absorbing their power so he can continue to live.
Salazar?
Private Salazar, not Professor. Private
Oh.
Miguel Salazar. So the main chick in Day of the Dead, he is her boyfriend who's suffering from PTSD.
I thought you were going to bring up Michelle Trachtenberg when you said there were two deaths.
Yeah.
That's who I thought he was going to say too.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Well, there's
we
there's
can talk
three.
about Michelle Trachtenberg too. Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Okay, I'm a millennial. Harriet the Spy was awesome when I was a kid. So.
All right. Anyone else? Anyone else dying? Come on, cut it out, guys. Cut it out.
Every
Hollywood.
single day.
Cut it out,
Yeah.
Hollywood.
I swear I read something else, but I don't remember. We've talked a little bit about Buffy, haven't we? Didn't?
I used to watch Buffy religiously because of my mom. Like, she was obsessed with that show.
Buffy. Yeah. I never really have. I don't know that I've watched 4 episodes ever.
I know I've watched season 3 to 5. Like, I know I've watched those seasons. Because it was a big fucking thing when like I think season 4 and 5 came out. Mom was like, "We're watching Buffy." I'm like, "Okay, let's watch Buffy."
Get on the couch, losers. It's Buffy.
Yeah.
We're going Buffying.
Well, it was just
Buffy time.
at that time. It was just me and mom because Matthew was a baby. So like, Matthew was in bed, and it was like 9 o'clock. And if Buffy was on, Mom never really cared when I went to bed anyway. But like, if Buffy was on, I didn't have to be in my room. I could sit in the living room with her and watch Buffy. So I've watched a lot of fucking Buffy.
All right, raising my drink for the deceased. May you live in the next
Valhalla.
world of amazing things.
What's up, Mac?
We shall soldier forth here. Let's get out of the newsroom.
Shout out. I want to take a quick shout out for Ellington Reserve. Special thanks to Total Wine and More. Canadian root beer whiskey. And I'm pretty well drinking it straight over ice, and it is pretty good stuff.
On a scale of 1 to they live, how drunk are you?
1.
None?
1.
Fair. That's fair, I guess.
I mean, it is 70 proof, but that's usually a little weaker than what I usually drink. I usually like 100 stuff, cast strength stuff. So.
All right, it is.
Nope, I'm
Fried berry.
It is fried berry time. Jeff, give us. This was your pick. Give us your back of the VHS box description of fried berry.
Aliens take a joyride in a drug addict's body.
There you have it.
Dude, the casting
very
for this.
succinct.
How fucking alien does the dude look already?
Right?
The casting in this. I mean,
Well,
phenomenal.
Ryan Kruger has cast Gary Green, who played Barry, in several things. So I kind of went through I wanted to look back at some of Ryan Kruger's music videos. He's won several South African music video awards. So I thought, I'm going to look at some of his fucking music videos and see if he's got a style that matches, this. So mostly I was down the rabbit hole with a band called Taxi Violence, which I did like. It was like a mellow 90s grunge rock, kind of a la Dinosaur Jr. or something. It was really good music, but there's Gary Green in the music video playing a guy who wrecks a bicycle. So it said that
the guy gets
Ryan,
work.
yeah. Ryan has cast him as extras. He's been extras in Stuntman, and then when this came along, because of his unique look, Ryan was just like, "Yes, I got the perfect dude." So,
Anybody watch the short film Fried Berry on YouTube?
I did
I
not
didn't
get
know there was
to it.
one.
I don't. Is the alien in the Fried Berry short, or is it more focused on the drugs?
Just more him just on drugs, dancing around, making faces and stuff. So.
He's got that Jim Carrey quality to his face where he can contort in ways that make my bones hurt.
Yeah. Mac posed a question. He said, Barry's whole trip is like a fever dream on steroids. It is. Thanks for the pick. Do you guys think the chaos is just for shock value, or does it actually say something deeper about addiction and self-destruction? I have deep thoughts about this. I'll wait till we get further into the review here. But I do have thoughts on this, Mac, and I don't think that it's about addiction and self-destruction. I think it's about perception. And we'll get into that. For sure.
Okay. Interesting. So.
Yeah, my whole theory on this movie is perception. Not from the aliens' point of view, but from everyone else's point of view. That was my deep thought that I thought I actually molded it while talking to my wife the next day. Jen went to bed, I was watching the movie or whatever. I finished the movie and I was like, okay, well, this is something I have watched now. Was like, I'm just gonna go to bed now. What the fuck did I just waste my time on? Next morning, I got up and I was discussing it with Jen, and I was like, wait, hold on. But what if it's this? That makes this really interesting, actually. So, yeah, but I want to hear you guys' thoughts first because I want to see if I'm a unique, special snowflake, or if I'm not.
All snowflakes are special snowflakes.
I know.
Tim.
But I want to know if I'm really that special. But yeah, no, yeah. What I guess we'll start from the beginning there. The thing that really bugged me at the very beginning was like how shitty the parents were with the children, or their kid.
Wasn't the guy at the
especially
beginning
Barry.
saying that you're
Especially Barry.
never watched this video?
Yeah.
Suze is present in her child's life. She's making sure the boy eats, trying to run a household, but I do feel like she does, if we were looking at this as like quality of parenting here, she does take some responsibility for continuing to put up with a heroin addict in the house.
Yeah,
it's hard to fault somebody for, because it's very natural to want to redeem somebody or keep the family together, keep the family unit together. So that's very natural. I don't want to shit on her as a parent. I think she's doing the best she can. It's Barry's personal responsibility, and he's the one that's not taking responsibility as a parent, or even like it doesn't even seem like he takes a responsibility as an active partner in the relationship. So.
No, he definitely doesn't. She's as the movie progresses, she's a shit parent, like a real shit parent. But she does keep the child alive, which is more than a lot of parents do. So, kudos to her for that, I guess. But like, I'm gonna fucking toot my own horn here a minute. I'm such an active parent. Like, as soon as I get home, it's like me and Bub time. Like, because I don't get as much time with him as my wife does. So it's like I take him. Jen goes and does whatever she wants to do, plays video games, whatever she wants to do. I take him and we wrestle or we play. We've actually started playing Minecraft, which is super fun. We wrestle. Like tonight, we played Minecraft for maybe 15 minutes, and then we wrestled on the bed for like 2 fucking hours. That's all we did was wrestle on the bed. And so like developing skills is more of a parent thing than just keeping them alive. Like you might as well just be a foster parent at that point. I don't know. So that bugged me right from the start, was like her aggression immediately in front of the child. I didn't like that. It made me uncomfortable. And as I've mentioned many times before, horror movies, how uncomfortable they make me is how high I rate the movie. Because when I watch a horror movie, I want to be uncomfortable. So, it made me uncomfortable.
I think there's a good uncomfortable and a bad uncomfortable, though. If her parenting style makes you uncomfortable, that's, to me, that would seem more of a cringy uncomfortable than uncomfortable because of some horror element.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
I think she's probably doing the best she can. Cape Town is a very, society in general is very segregated, and it's not in the traditional sense of the word, but
was she speaking Afrikaans, by the way?
Town. What's that?
Was she speaking Afrikaans when it would do the subtitles? What language was that?
I'm not sure. Jeff, you got any idea?
No idea.
I would assume it's Afrikaans because it's South Africa, but
right.
I don't know. I think it was Afrikaans, which I thought was really cool that they kind of blended that in. Because there's a few references to South Africa in the movie, but for the most part, Chris?
I took a semester of Spanish as a freshman in high school. I'm pretty sure that it was not Spanish.
There we go. We have narrowed it down. The other 127 languages spoken today.
In that case, I can positively identify that it is not Japanese. I took 3 years of Japanese.
There you go. I can tell you it was not French. I took 3 years of French.
Jeff, what do you
It's
bring
not
to the
German.
table?
It took 3 years of German.
Damn it! We are discovering something
killed
about
it.
each other these
We
days.
killed it. God
Ça va?
damn.
Who knew that the Horror House was such an international, worldly podcast?
Uno pencil.
It's a low. You forgot the O.
I'm not that. I'm not that studied.
You probably know more after 1 semester of Spanish than I know after 3 years of Japanese. I can count.
No.
I can curse a little bit, and I can answer the telephone.
My Spanish teacher
I could get
asked
myself
me,
to an American embassy in France. I could be like, "Je suis American." Je m'appelle Tim. Je suis American. Just
I got none of that.
parlez-vous français? Okay.
My teacher
So I can-
asked me if I wanted to leave that class, and that's why I only did a semester. This is true. Yeah.
There you
Could
go.
be worse. You could be asked to leave an English class.
Fun fact, I was actually leaving an English class. I can give you guys that horror story. That fucking bitch. All right. I hate very few people in this world. But
That's a good philosophy. Yeah.
yeah, no, I really don't dislike people very much. So I really, really don't dislike people very much. So if I dislike you, I promise it is your fault. It has nothing to do with me, because I am so forgiving of every fucking thing. But yeah, Miss Sanders, I think, AP English, junior year of high school, hater. But back to Barry. Parenting, parenting uncomfortableness right from the beginning aside. I thought when he went to the bar right after that and met up with that talkative dude, it's like, it's a little racist, because I'm a little racist. Like that guy talking about Mickey Mouse, Steamboat Willie. I thought that was some of the best dialogue in the entire movie. That dude was fucking hilarious.
Fried Barry doesn't really talk much through the movie.
The
Even just
entire
as
movie,
Barry.
even when he's a human.
Yeah.
And they mention that a couple times, like, you're a good listener. And that's mentioned like when he's an alien and when he's not an alien. I thought that was really funny. And it's like, you're a good listener.
I do think that conversation was interesting because I don't know that is the reason for the white gloves, but I do know that Mickey Mouse, the original design for Mickey Mouse, was based on those kind of minstrel shows, the slapstick comedic element of that, and wanting to put that into animation. So, but the white gloves, my understanding is that Walt Disney actually said, one, it made him look more human, and they really are trying to humanize him so he can be very relatable. So the gloves helped with that. Instead of having rodent hands,
Right.
he can have human-looking hands. So.
Right.
And then most of those old cartoons were black and white.
Yeah.
And so having that white glove, it's actually the same reason why minstrel shows had that white glove, is because of that contrast.
Right.
It really stands out. So,
And especially
in
when
animation.
your objects have to be white or black. Typically, if you're grasping for a malleable usable object. And a black and white it's black. That's what it is. So like having the white gloves, being able to see the hands, do the steamboat wheel and shit like that makes sense. So
now Walt Disney may have been racist.
Oh, he definitely was.
Let it be said, I'm not defending Walt Disney here. I don't know.
When he comes back next year to join the White House cabinet of anti-Semitism, as the czar of anti-Semitism, we'll know. He's frozen underneath Epcot Center. I don't know if you guys know this or not.
His head was in a jar.
No, he's cryogenically frozen.
Ah.
Yeah. Your Disney tickets provide his care.
Chris, give me arms of an angel.
In the arms of an angel.
35 cents a day, you can keep Walt Disney alive, cryogenically frozen underneath Epcot Center.
And there's a
where all the
baby
human
in a
filth from the park
basket.
rains over his frozen body.
You can
daily.
swim in an ocean with dolphins.
Yeah, that's good.
The Deliverance style of
Fucking
Arms of an Angel.
Johnny Cash version. Good on you.
Never know.
Chris,
Never
what
know.
did you think of the beginning of this film before we get to the alien shit?
Really just the whole beginning, I was like waiting to see like what is this what will the horror twinge to this be? Because like I've seen Requiem for a Dream. I've seen these types of movies where it's like, oh, these terrible drug addicts, and I'm like, so none of that. It was that, whatever. I mean, I've seen those things. I want to know. I was just waiting. What are you gonna deliver to me to make this not just an old man saying ass to ass at the end? What is this gonna be? Which, as it turns out, is not far from that in ways. There's a lot of ass. I've seen asses, but that's a whole other thing. So
How
I
many
was
times
really
while watching this did you wish you could see Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley in leotards?
That
not a time.
Again, going back to the substance, that movie was so well shot that it makes me never want to see them that way again. It was like okay, typically ass shots are from back here, right? But in the substance, it's like ass.
Yes.
It's like no, I'm good. Like that's too much.
There's
too
whole
much
websites with better angles and better shots that are free. Fuck the substance.
Yeah. Then we get to the abduction after they do heroin together.
Fun fact: Barry is also the name, according to IMDb, but I double checked it to make sure it was actually the case, of the child that is abducted in Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Now, if we apply the Daviverse to this, the ages for Gary Green and about what that child would have been in 1977 kind of add up pretty good. So we could just say this is a sequel to Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
I will say in a lot of to further the proof here. In a lot of abduction movies like Dark Skies and things like that, people who are abducted once are rarely only abducted once. The aliens like to kind of keep tabs, so it would stand to reason that a young boy who's abducted by aliens would struggle to fit into society, possibly turn to drugs, and that the aliens would come back to keep tabs on him and see, what's up with my old friend Barry. When we last left him, he was a little boy. What's he doing now that he's a man? So
a move from Midwestern America to South Africa.
Yeah,
I mean, Sure.
Aliens
Um,
found some alcohol,
I
got a little mixed up, dropped him off in the wrong spot, and then he just didn't
you
know.
never know where you're at. You never
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know that there are phones in South Africa, so he probably was just stuck there.
He's just like, fuck it, I'm here now.
Yeah.
So
Heroin, yes. Phones, I don't know. I doubt it. I doubt it. But let's talk about this alien shit. So he gets sucked up in
Yeah.
a pretty great shot. There's some good
Yeah.
shots in this movie.
Yeah.
And the lighting, and then when he gets into the UFO, it's Pink Floyd laser show.
Yeah.
If you were on LSD watching Pink Floyd's laser show, maybe up to and maybe even including the dick and the
So, is the dick the best place to shoot up heroin? I'm gonna leave this to someone. Jeff, do you know? Tim, Chris, I do
Never
not know.
shot heroin.
I have never ever in my life used a weed needle.
Pot needle?
I've never used a pot needle.
I do know that Motley Crue used to shoot up alcohol to get drunk faster. So they thought. So I
do
can
not
only
recommend.
I can only assume intrapenously it probably. I mean, you have to think flaccid or erect also. I think probably
This one was erect.
Yes, I would say that would be the key difference.
That was
No,
full
I would
staff.
say if you're getting shot up with drugs in an erect penis, it's going to take longer to hit your bloodstream. That's why your penis is erect. The blood is trapped there.
I don't know how
Well,
yours works.
No,
but
it's
the blood,
being
I know
flown-
how penises work.
It's
I
not
have
trapped
been
there.
an owner
It's
for
being
50
flown
plus
there.
years.
So it'd actually be faster because the blood is being pumped there very quickly and
But
aroused.
it's trapped in there.
It's not
That's what
trapped.
makes it hard. It is. It is. That's why
It
a
is trapped?
priapism is so. It is trapped in there. That's why a priapism is so dangerous. When you see like a commercial for Viagra and Cialis, and they say call a doctor if your erection lasts more than 4 hours, it's because you can get necrosis because you can't get fresh blood in because you can't get the old blood out.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I thought it was just pumping it there constantly.
No, it is trapped in there. That's what makes it
so
so
here it
turgid.
is. Here it is.
Strong Red Bull.
You put it in there, and then it's all in there, right? In one go. You don't have to wait for a bullshit needle to like slowly like put it in there. You get it all loaded up, and then when this goes away, all of it,
Right.
all of it.
When you get soft again, then it goes back into your bloodstream. But
We had to
until
workshop
then,
it, but we got there.
as long as you say strong like bull.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah,
So-
no, full on close up cock shot. I mean, it is super. It is
They
4K, well defined. You can
Don't
see
show
the
the
waffle
needle
patterns
in
in the
in the
dickhead. I mean,
dick,
it's
But,
everything.
it's there.
It's there.
This
So,
would be
yeah,
a good
you see
double
it.
It's
feature.
It's
This would be a
it's getting
good double
worse 'cause you have
feature
to
with
imagine it.
Possessor.
Do what now?
This would be a good double feature with Possessor. Brandon Cronenberg's Possessor. There's a big penis shot in that one too.
Oh, is there?
But
That is, I love that movie. I love that movie. Jeff, have you seen that?
Mm.
Brandon Cronenberg's Possessor.
I haven't
I
seen
might
it.
pick that this season. You can book it.
this is the dick
More
season.
cock
Third
shots.
pick, that's it.
More
Yeah.
cock shots coming this season in Whorehouse.
Like, yeah, Possessor is a mindfuck of a movie anyway. So.
Yeah, we'll
So
say
there-
Possessor. We'll just say that there is also that in there.
I really like the laser effects in the UFO scene though. I really enjoyed them.
I
It
did
reminded me
too.
of like Aliens, maybe Aliens 2, but one of them had a lot of laser shots in it, and then I was telling these guys before the podcast, it reminded me a lot of Tron. I don't know why I got Tron vibes from it, but like just how hard the light was as it was traveling just gave me like real Tron vibes, which I fucking love Tron. And I even love the sequel to Tron. So yeah,
Tron 2.
I
thought it
really
was
enjoyed the
much better
effects.
than it had any right to be.
Tron Resurgence? What was it called?
Yeah,
Legacy?
It was much better than it had any right to be.
It was so good. I loved it. I saw it in theaters.
Did it give you Flight of the Navigator vibes?
No.
Because I believe that's the some of the motivation for those scenes were from 1986's Flight of the Navigator.
I don't think I've
Coogler-
ever seen that.
Imagine if Disney did a alien abduction movie with a happy ending.
With Paul Rubens.
I think they did that with Disney World and Disneyland.
No, but like in an actual UFO flying around.
Oh, in a movie, like not in real life? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Sorry, Disney. We're going to get sued so hard.
This has been some
Bring it.
Disney. Disney.
Joke's on you. I ain't got nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
You come for this pencil. You coming for my life. Dave sing Arms of an Angel.
But yes,
Don't fuck with me
in the arms
I will get you
of an angel.
before you get me. You understand?
Yo, this angel's got arms and they're wrapped around you tight. Say you will.
I
and
saw
just
Chris.
might.
I saw Chris cringe. I saw him physically cringe as soon as he started rapping. He was like,
So I do want to. Chris mentioned, and correctly so, Mr. Paul Rubens is the voice actor in Flight of the Navigator as well.
Yeah.
Pee Wee Herman.
Nice.
But yeah, and then after the UFO scene, we get into the point I want to make, where the alien makes its way to town.
Yeah.
And it starts roaming the land. So
And fucking everything in sight.
yeah,
And drugs.
So
more
quickly.
ecstasy than should ever be taken in the history of mankind. So the point I wanted to make here, I don't know if the heroin epidemic or the drug epidemic in Cape Town, South Africa is really bad. But the fact that no one, like us as a viewer, we're watching this guy, we're watching how he moves, how he walks, how he interacts. We're like, this dude's a fucking alien, right? Like, we get that. No one surrounding him gets that. They just think that he's fucking a little weird, but they don't understand that he's an alien.
He looks like he could come from downtown Indianapolis. He looks like a fucking drug addict.
And so I'm saying, like, it was this movie, and Mac, this goes back to your like whole chaos thing. Was this movie really like an allegory for like how we overlook the whole like drug addict thing? Like they're so used to seeing heroin addicts or whatever kind of drug addict or whatever, and like this person's just moving awkwardly and stuff like that. Like no one addresses how fucking weird he is. He gets voluntarily fucked like twice in this movie. Like voluntarily fucked, and like
not just
what the fuck?
voluntarily fucked. Like they are after him. Once he's possessed, the general public is after him.
Yeah.
So I kind of thought that most of the allegory was about drug addiction, because in the club you have the early experience when you fall down the drug path. It's a party. He's having fun. You know, he's fucking
right
tweeting and twerking and jerking. I mean, he's having a good ass fucking time. And with that comes casual sexual encounters and black alien jizz in your face. I don't know. I've never done heroin, so I assume that everyone shoots black alien jizz in your face when you do heroin. But
I call it black tar heroin.
yeah, but later on, you get a different experience. So going down this path with this, the sex. Sure, everybody wants him, but it doesn't like he's not passionate. He doesn't want the sex, which not personally, but I have seen in others. The addiction rewires your brain so bad, like sex should be the best fucking thing. Sex and love is the best fucking shit we got. And if you combine the two with one partner, fuck, that's amazing. The person I love most of the world can also make that shit happen to my dick. This is fucking great. But with addiction rewires your brain, like early on, okay, yeah, I'm gonna have fun with the sex because my senses are heightened and strange and everything's this new experience. But very quickly with addiction, you fall into this pattern where nothing produces that high for you.
Right.
And I think we see that with his addiction. He's fucking the hooker, and the most he can muster is a few Ric Flairs. Woo!
Well,
so,
when actually, that's when he's fucking the club lady, the lady that met him at the club.
Okay, yeah.
When he has sex with the hooker and he's like gonna procreate, he shows a ton of emotion. Like that's when he's like, oh, the whole time, like.
You don't think that was exaggerated because of the expectation?
Maybe, but here's the thing: he had sex with the chick from the club, and he just said "woo" the whole time.
Woo!
She finishes. She kicks him out. There was no expectation made, really. Like she's just like, "Hey, talk more." But then, like, when he goes to procreate, because this lady doesn't make him put a condom on, he shows a ton of emotion, which I thought was super weird, and that's what led me to believe that like that was the main mission of this alien, was to procreate with a human, to like again study the effects, right? So like, but he showed a really weird and unsavory amount of emotion when he was having sex with the hooker. And then that whole scene was super uncomfortable.
It was. I kind of read that over the top thing as playing to the expectation, almost like a fake fucking orgasm.
Right.
So, but I mean,
I saw it as like,
yeah, your point of view is very interesting there. So
because like every time he's having sex with a condom, he has no, like, because he has sex with the mom, and he has almost no emotion. You just hear her. When he has sex with the club chick, you have no emotion. He just says the woo thing because she tells him to make some noise. When he has sex with the hooker, he's like fucking freaking out the whole time. It's like, yeah, exactly. And that could have been the fucking ecstasy kicking in. I don't know, because he took like 70 pills. So like, either one. But like, I do see the dichotomy of the sex scenes is like, where he's wearing a condom, there's nothing happening, and when he's not wearing a condom, everything's fucking happening.
So Tim's advice is to always raw dog it. Got it.
Yeah, if you can. Yes. Of course. Yes. If you are with a consenting partner and you're trying for a child and or they are on birth control and everyone's cool with it, yes, without a condom is better. I can ask my wife and she would agree. So she said, don't pull me into this. Is with or without a condom better? All right.
don't need to have this discussion.
That's true. She's like, we're all adults. No, that's an adult discussion. We've been talking about fucking hookers for the last 30 minutes. You're gonna
Yeah.
play me out to that?
One of us has had 2 beers. Other ones of us have had way more than 2 beers.
That's fair. But no,
Come back down.
I feel that the sex scenes were telling of the story. But it does make, after the sex scenes, it does make a hard pivot into a whole different kind of story, which is interesting. But actually, Chris and Dave, you guys haven't commented on the sex scene theory.
I commented.
Chris and Jeff, sorry.
I don't
Yeah, there
have
you
deep.
go.
I don't have
I always
deep.
comment.
I don't have deep feelings on the story of this movie. I think it's just, I didn't look for anything under the surface because, I was just on the journey with Barry. So anything beyond that, you can think that. That's fine. I have nothing because just the journey was all I was on.
It was a wild journey. Jeff, where do you stand?
I mean, I agree with Chris. It was just the journey, just to go on with the alien, and he does drugs and has sex, and no one really realizes that it's not a real person, that he's different. Even his wife starts thinking, you know what, something's different about you, and I like it.
How shitty was Barry before that a almost mute, weirdly reactionary alien is somehow a little better.
It's just like he's sitting there like feeding his son, and she's like, "Oh, that's wonderful." It's like
All he did
he
was
just changed
feed him.
overnight.
He's copying the behavior he saw at the park, right?
Right.
He saw the person with.
Yeah.
So, it is that
The blending mechanic.
is that meant to show that like anybody could be a good parent if they were raised by somebody that they could mimic? Like that's part of the cycle. We have shitty parents that turn around and raise shitty kids, and we have kids who are raised in a loving household and can express love and feel loved, and go on to have a household that is filled with love and raised loved and loving children. So
But then we pivot into the child trafficking arc of this movie, which was
I was
fucking
nervous.
awesome, by the way.
I was nervous the whole first half of this sequence because I'm like, what is Barry gonna do to this child? Inadvertently, I was
like without knowing.
Yeah,
I felt the same way. I was like, what's he gonna do to this kid?
I was kind of more worried about him than I was the creeper, really, for a minute, because we were still kind of new to Barry as well. I'm not other than his sexual escapades, but.
And also, Barry is the protagonist. Like, you've identified with Barry at this point. You don't want him to turn full creeper on you. So
Yeah, it's an adult toddler at this point. But yeah, I felt uncomfortable with him with the preteen girl or whatever. I was like, is he gonna murder this girl? Is he gonna try to have relations with this girl? Because that's all the adult women he's met so far have just been like, hey, let's do this.
And generally not his initiation. Like, it's all
it's never his initiation. Yeah, for sure. They just kind of bring him along for the ride. And I think that kind of spoke volumes as far as this whole sequence went, is because, again, he was kind of along for the ride until he wasn't. And that was the coolest part of this sequence. Is like she's dragging him along. They're trying to escape. They find the other kids. They're like the whole thing. And then he, at that point, shows cognizance and is like, you hide in there. I'm gonna fucking deal with this dickhead. And he does. And it was such a corny action scene, but it was such a fun action scene. I fucking loved it.
Good. They didn't have to show any real violence in
No.
it. They just him and the other guy, grabbing at each other, moving the chainsaw
Hustling.
up and down,
Fighting with their
and then they
chainsaw.
just have blood squirting all over their faces.
Yeah.
Very dark.
I was
I thought
waiting.
that was really cool. His facial expression as the blood's just splattering him in the face was pretty great.
Yeah.
Great.
And I liked how Barry was mimicking the facial expressions of the guy he was trying to kill, but you could tell as a viewer, at least I could, that Barry knew what was up, and he knew this was life or death. Like he was mimicking, but he was also like knew that this was life or death, and it was really interesting. I really liked that. But like I did like you've seen him. Oh, we didn't even talk about the gestation period of the baby, by the way. The 30-second gestation period. That was fucking
Barry
insane.
Jr.
Yeah. Which we definitely need to dive into Barry Jr. But the whole that whole fight scene was really interesting because again, he's mimicking his aggressor, but you can also see some sort of like he knows what this all means. Like it's a weird scene. It's corny. It's corny in a good way. Like I really liked it. It's like Mr. Magoo corny, right? Like it's fun. But it's fucking weird. Chris, what do you think about the chainsaw fight?
It was fine.
This is gonna be the most 2 review by Chris that's ever happened.
I didn't care for the blood in his hair. That creeped me out in a weird way. Like is it sticky? Is it just wet? Is it sticky? I am not sure. But I honestly, to counter Jeff, I would have liked to have seen that just cut into him. And I was fully expecting it because having watched the director after this, he did Street Trash, which we have talked about a little bit, which is all of the gore effects that I feel like he would have put in Barry if they'd had the money. Because Street Trash is just like, think of like real bad 80s effects, but now jump ahead 30 years and you're in South Africa. So I was expecting more of that in Fried Barry. So when this started to happen with the chainsaw and I didn't see him get like hacked to bits, I was a little bit like,
Disappointed.
I like the whole
It's-
Hitchcock kind of style of it, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I enjoyed the style of it.
I think
But
if you can't do it right, sometimes it's better to not do it,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
probably the case here,
yeah,
budget-wise. Because I mean, up to this point, we've got a pretty low-budget movie.
Yeah.
I watched. I listened to a interview with Kruger, and he talked about that. Like this was 3 days to shoot a movie.
Dang.
They shot this in 3 days.
Shot in 3 days.
Holy
Pretty
fuck.
much, or no, they had 3 days of prep. But there was
Okay.
almost no script. There was almost no script. It was the script, the camera blocking, everything was done on the fly. And most of the actors were had a history in like impromptu and that. trained actors except Gary Green. And so he was the only one that's part of the reason why he has so little dialogue, is that they just wanted him, this is what you're going to do. You don't improv. Everyone else is going to improv. And went from there. So they were like, okay, let's do the scene, and this is how we'll block it. This is how we'll shoot it. And okay, here's some dialogue. Okay, here's a rough sketch of dialogue. You're going to tell him to fuck off. He's not a good parent. Here's breakfast. And then Suze had to improv the actual words she was saying. So it was more like, here's what you're going to say, but you say it how you're going to say it.
That elevates my rating. Just based on what you've just said, that elevates my rating. So that's really cool. Thinking back on all of the dialogue that does happen in this movie, that's pretty spectacular, honestly. But the roadmen, by the way, before the whole child trafficking sequence happens, the roadmen that just find him and kick the shit out of him. What the fuck? He's just going down a dirt fucking road and they're like, this is our land. Like, what the fuck was that?
Gang.
Yeah, just a gang of 3 men, and they were assholes.
Track. This dirt track.
we own this dirt road. Like, you are the worst gang in history.
Now Barry did the reaching out, like he was, affecting
Trying
the
to-
one
oh,
guy.
pull him? Yeah.
And then, did that ever come into play again? Did I miss it?
No.
I think it was because he healed that guy who's having a heart attack. And then I think he's maybe have the ability to either send that back out, or he was trying to give that guy a heart attack, but
Didn't make
he passed
physical
out.
contact.
Yeah, because he's like,
Yeah.
oh, and then Barry passes
Okay.
out, and then he's like walks away like that. Like, okay, well, we're gonna see something happen later on with this guy, or but I think he just because he passed out, he didn't get to complete it.
Yeah.
It was very strange. It was also very strange. He heals the guy with the heart attack. Then he comes the stab guy. He's like, oh, well, let me take your headphones for you.
That was.
Oh, he gives him the
one of
headphones.
That
He
was
gives
one
him
of the
the
best
headphones.
parts.
Here you go, and then he dies.
Yeah.
You're like,
I laughed at that. That was one of my favorite parts.
he's like,
I
you're
didn't-
fine.
I didn't-
Bye.
Help me!
I didn't laugh
And
at
he's
that.
like,
I thought that was super fucking weird, but also one of the greatest death scenes, because I don't know if you guys noticed, they CGI the light out of the dude's eyes. You see the light leave his eyes. It's weird because his eyes can't focus anymore, right? So it was a solid death scene, honestly.
That was because Ace of Base was playing on the headphones, and if that doesn't suck the life out of you.
Well,
I saw the sign. Ugh.
Chris is queuing up Ace of Base right now.
what I've been
Pretty
listening
sure
to
it's
all night. What I listen to most nights. Well, it's the mental ward, I
The
guess. now.
sanatorium. Yeah.
Which the guy he's in there with, the main guy, I forget his name, is the kind of main guy in Street Trash. A lot of actors in this would go on to be in Street Trash as well. This guy being one of the big ones. Maybe my least favorite part of the movie. I feel like I didn't get a lot out of this entire section. It felt like I kind of started to waver.
Moment.
Yeah, I was ready for the next part during this.
Yeah. It was.
just-
Go ahead, Dave.
In the interview, this is meant to play a little homage to One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and I wish they went
felt that.
full.
Yeah.
I wish they went full One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. No machine gun, just dude Barry picks up a fucking water fountain and throws it through a window and escapes, or something like that. Because I didn't like. I agree. I didn't like how this played out. So.
Yeah, it was really like you could tell just from the pacing that it like wasn't a real gun, and they were like, you know, they were kind of like reenacting, and like people saw that he had some sort of weapon, so they were like backing away from him. But like my whole thing was like gun violence in general is played out, John Wick aside, because John Wick is fucking dope. But like it felt too violent for the movie, and it was just like overtly violent. Like I didn't like it. It didn't add anything to the movie for me. It didn't take away anything from the movie. I just didn't like it.
It's
The
funny
only
though.
thing
I thought it was
it-
hilarious.
Did you?
Okay. So we got.
I'd probably be better, like maybe if they leaned into a little bit more, where he's going in for more of the violent, shooting and stuff, and then it just shows, him with a stick going boom, 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 boom.
If they would have done those cuts, I would have like visualizing it. Yes,
Yeah.
it's funny. If they would have done those cuts, I think it would have made the movie better, in my opinion.
In my idea of looking at the possession as the progression of addiction, this is where I thought, like, okay, this addiction has now led him to this violent place.
Right.
Is kind of where my head was going. So, but I agree that this is kind of it's hard to say it's out of left field because every fucking thing is out of left field.
Yeah.
You just go from scene to scene with no clue of where you're going. You're almost like Barry in that respect, is that Barry is being drugged through this movie from adventure to adventure, and you are along for the ride. Like, you don't know where the next thing is coming from because there's no progression. This is 100% non sequitur. Oh, I just healed the guy from a heart attack. Now I'm going to get beat up on the street. Now I'm in a fucking mental institution and some dude's breaking me out with a machine gun. Like, it's just like where I have no clue where I'm going next.
The car scene after the asylum is my least favorite scene because I'm like, this is fucking stupid. Like, there's a beginning, there's no end. The middle is fucking stupid. Like, what the fuck is happening? I hated that scene. I was like, this is the worst fucking segue into the next section of this movie I've ever seen in my life. I hated it so much.
If people remember, Chris, if you remember back to when we watched The Void, I told the story about how I kind of dozed off watching it, and I woke up and there's monster coming out of somebody's body, and I was like, what the fuck is this? So I rewound it and fell asleep and woke up to a monster coming out of a body, and I was like, what the and so I rewound it 3 fucking times. Like, I have no idea how this monster's coming out of a body. So the next day when I watched it fully awake, I realized it's because it comes out of fucking nowhere. And I did the same thing with Fried Berry with the black and white cardboard walls, fucking what the fuck has happened? What is going on? Did I fall fucking asleep? It just slept. Bam! Here we are.
Fucking hated that sequence so much. I rewatched it, I think 3 times that night. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make sense of this. I'm gonna make this make sense to me. Watched it 3 times, never made sense. Didn't understand it. Don't care. Hate that scene.
This is just a weird psychedelic romp.
That's kind of what I took, is that, is this again, with my idea that this is the progression of addiction. Here we have this moment of self-reflection and this kind of calm before the storm. is the cycle going to start all over again, or am I going to get clean? And then, Hooker, he finds Hooker on the street, knocks out the pimp, and falls out as well. I don't know why.
He's
But
dying.
Yeah.
He's
he gets a
ET.
little baby.
So
He gets a
this
little
is
baby Barry Jr.
this and the ending is what led me to believe that this was he wasn't joyriding in Barry's body. This was a temporary clone.
Yeah.
And like the UFO scene shows a lot of blank fucking faces and like bodies just kind of standing there. I think it was a blank clone. I think it had a time. I think it had a fucking expiration date.
Yeah.
He had 3 days to fucking gallivant in this dude's like this dude's visage, and then he gets sucked back up, and his consciousness gets sucked back into the UFO or whatever, and then he the real body gets dumped back down at the ending. That's how I felt it worked out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
So
how it felt to me.
they weren't putting things into Barry. They were taking berries out of Barry.
I think so. I think they were taking some DNA samples.
I see.
Direct from the sack DNA samples. You know what I'm saying?
Do they not know you can just Q-tip the inside of my cheek and get that? They don't have to.
They're going
put a
for the
needle in
purest
my
form
balls?
of DNA, which, as we all know, is the sperm. All right,
It's not. Oh, smart. Okay.
it is.
I mean, he has to have Barry Jr. So they have to
It's
get the sperm.
It's the sperm.
Bizarre. Barry Jr. is bizarre.
Yeah,
And playing the power play with Barry. Like, no, watch this, Dad. I'm going to get that fucking titty. Milk
yeah, yeah.
Milka.
Milky
So-
mugs.
Oh,
It was-
fucking weird.
So fucking weird. The whole Barry Jr. sequence. I thought, like, that scene made me the most uncomfortable because it was a full-grown man and a toddler like that had a toddler mentality after a day and a half. That's
Like,
weird.
as he's
that
looking
dude's gonna
down-
end up being a genius.
As he's looking down, like when he wakes up, we don't realize that's him waking up immediately, or I didn't. And then you see Barry again, but it's actually little Barry, and he's what is he saying? Like, I forget exactly what he says in that moment. But you're like, what the fuck is he on now? What has Barry done? What is he doing now? He's got the little bow, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
How have we ended up
Yeah.
here to where he is?
Right.
And then the reveal that is the
So
baby.
in my
was great.
addiction theory, Barry is now clean and reconnecting with children that he has not connected with. That's why the child is grown, is because in Barry's mind it's still a baby, because that's what he knew. It was born, it was a baby. That's what he knew. But it's not a baby anymore. It's a child. And so that kind of represents Barry reconnecting, and he has no recollection of anything except the baby. And now I'm trying to connect with the child that, is clearly
56 years
older
old.
than I expected. Yeah. The 40-year-old baby is what they should have called this movie.
Yeah, that was interesting. But the stare down that you mentioned before, like the stare down was
Power
interesting.
play.
He was like, "Look what I can do." Like it was like hardcore Stewart from fucking Mad TV.
Yeah.
It was a little much. It was hardcore Stewart is what it was. So I thought that was interesting. But I do like that theory though, that like the travel through addiction, like almost like Dante's Inferno, like the travel through the hells, like the different aspects. Because I after analyzing it, after watching it, I thought it was more like a take on everyone else's perception of an addict, and like looking at this alien and being like, yeah, this is just par for the course for an addict. Like they're always fucking zonked out and fucking never responsive and just like useless basically. And they just accept that as like a normal state of being. And that was weird for me, but I do like the travel of addiction. I like that theory a lot. So that's a good theory.
I was intrigued to hear your theory on perception and how it is very weird because there are parts that I can't reconcile with my theory.
Right.
Where at in this cycle of addiction does everybody like, oh, I can't wait to get me some heroin addict penis in my vagina?
Right.
Well,
No,
even the guy selling cheese wanted to marry.
Yeah. The guy selling cheese. Yeah, he must be giving off some strong pheromones. I mean, it must be some subconscious fucking pheromones.
Yeah.
Yeah. If in my later age I turn gay, I will never let a man put cheese in my mouth. That still is going to be off limits.
The guy with the cheese is the first guy to be like, this guy's weird. Like he's the first guy that's like, this guy's a little off. Like there's something wrong with this guy. The cheese man is the first one to figure out that this might be an alien. Even the fucking
promise.
The guy with the cardboard sign that's like, aliens exist, doesn't realize that Barry's an alien.
I can almost promise that was Asiago cheese, because that's the gayest cheese.
It's gotta be.
The fucking shit, man.
But then after the Milky Mugs scene, so uncomfortable. We have the death of Barry, which is super uncomfortable because the wife and the girlfriend are in the hospital at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fucking weird. But he dies, and the makeup on this dude while he's like in death state is really good. It's really good.
It was disturbing to me because he was pale, but then had the splotchiness, almost like an impetigo. So
yeah,
it was.
He
stood out.
He looked cold to the touch to me. Like I looked at him, I was like, I'm gonna feel him, and he's not gonna be 98.6 degrees. He's gonna be about 70 degrees. He's cold.
I've never seen a room temperature person more than him.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that is. Did the ecstasy he did at the start of the movie, did that affect him here? Because that is one of the things with ecstasy is that it can raise your core body temperature.
Right.
And then your organs start shutting down, and then you end up with the low body temperature afterwards because your organs are not sustaining you. They're not generating that internal heat. So,
right. Chris, what do you think of the death makeup? You're a big horror aficionado when it comes to the death makeup.
It was fine.
This is the most 2 movie. I'm gonna right now. Chris is giving this a 2.
I may surprise you.
2.5.
I'll give it 2. It was fine. I didn't. You guys liked it way more than I did. I mean, I wasn't like, this is bad. I was just like,
I tried to give it deeper meaning because I did feel like there was a deeper message in it, but yeah, no, I
can absolutely love a movie that is just like mindless, no message. Let's just get some violence on film. I'm all fucking for that. I love Terrifier. So I can actually love that. But my favorite movies are movies that kind of make me think a little bit.
Yeah.
And this is one that you could go either way. Like this could, it's just a fucking adventure and let's strap in and go for the fucking ride.
Right.
Or it's, man, there's something deeper going on here and I've got to get to the bottom of it. But also, what does Dave always say? When we interpret a movie or when we interpret any art, it usually says more about us than it does about the creator or their intended message. So,
yeah, I actually tried to look up interviews with the director specifically on this movie. Couldn't find a ton.
There's a few out there. I did watch a few.
I was curious if it was like an homage to the heroin epidemic in South Africa. Didn't see anything about that though. So I think that my theory is probably just, again, me looking too deep into the minutia of the movie. But that's how I've chosen to take it, and I really, after thinking of it that way, it makes me enjoy the movie that much more, because it's like these people, like he was met with people that have known him for a long time, and they don't think it's so weird that he's just like a different person. Like he gets met with his drug dealer at one point in a greenhouse that looks like it was in fucking Chernobyl. And they're like, okay, good talk, Barry. Like, we're gonna head out now. Like it's to me, it very much feels like this is a movie based on the perception of drug addicts by the people around them, and like how like they could be replaced by an alien and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Like you couldn't tell, because they're
indifference of society to the plight. So.
Exactly, the indifference of society to the plight. That is 100% what I'm going for there. So, but then, so we the death scene, he comes back because he's a fucking alien. The wife and the girlfriend had together to get him back to
his daughter. And his daughter.
Right, and his daughter.
He's in the car too.
Band together to fucking get this dude back to where he needs to go after the wife gets mind touched. And it's like, I understand fucking everything now. And but the other scene that made me laugh in this movie was the side eye that the fucking wife gave the girlfriend.
Yeah, that was
when she was like giving him a hug bye. So fucking funny, dude.
It is hilarious.
She acted that 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that was her. You're in the background, just going,
yeah.
What? No.
What is this bitch doing? It was
right. Get off my man.
Fantastic.
It was super good.
And then we get another Barry shot going up, and then that's it. But it's not.
And then Barry falls back down.
Yeah. Barry.
Yes. But I thought when he's going up that second time, it both times really is so beautiful. He's just floating. He looks so relaxed pose as he's just kind of being sucked up through the red light. And so
the first time he's all
I shared with you guys. I should have downloaded it. I should have sent it to myself and downloaded it for the show tonight. But I sent you the painting I made of the Barry abduction.
Yeah. Hold on. I got it.
But it was kind of beautiful.
Oh, camera's not focusing. You guys get it.
It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to see, but I found some translucent red acrylic paint is how I painted that. So I painted Barry and I painted the sidewalk, and that's supposed to be a street lamp, and then let that all dry, and then I painted over the top of it with the translucent red is how I got that. So
Neat.
Do you know what that shot reminded me of? The house that Jack built yet a fucking again because there's a goddamn street lamp and there's a man. Like that movie and street lamps have permanently scarred their fucking selves in my mind. If there's a man in a street lamp, it's the house that Jack built. So, congratulations, Dave. You've scarred my brain. So, congratulations.
That's the least
Matt
I can do.
Damon.
Again, apparently. I started scarring it with Toxic Avenger and just continues to the
Just
present day.
continued.
It's not stopping. So one thing that I assumed or thought, like watching this, was like, so when he takes the heroin at the beginning and all of this stuff happens, I kind of was thinking at some point he's gonna come to and he's gonna wake up in a gutter or a hospital or under a bridge or whatever.
Yeah.
And
I
then
thought that
he'll
too.
realize that everything that has occurred was some like weird, you know,
Fever
what he was
dream.
yeah, like, so instead of actually chainsawing that guy, he was like had a stick and was like trying to chop down a tree, or like with all this humping that he did, he was just like having sex with a dog or whatever. Anything is kind of what I thought was maybe going to quickly at a certain point. I was like, okay, I don't think that is the case, but that is a thought where I was like, he's just so high, he thinks he's an alien now.
It's all a dream.
And I'm glad
It
that
has
that was not the case.
It has that pacing though, because it is very disconjointed. Like it's scene, like Dave said, it's scene to scene to scene. It's not. None of the stories really joined together. Like he literally chops a man in half with a chainsaw, and then is immediately in an insane asylum. Like without, there's no court, there's no fucking lawyers. Like it just goes from scene to scene to scene. So like
It's South
that
Africa.
fever dream.
They don't have court.
That fever dream fucking aspect is very prevalent in this film. I think that's, again, I probably give directors more credit than they're worth. I probably by design, but I don't actually know. Like, but yeah, I do feel that, because I thought the same thing until the fucking car scene that I fucking hate, and I was like, nope, there's no rhyme or reason to this fucking movie. It is what it is.
Tim's minusing 2 for the car scene. I am plussing 4 for the car scene. I'm joking. Are we
More
ready
drugs.
Are we ready to rate this and get out of here?
I just want to say something that I found very hilarious to me. Side note, I was taking a new employee on a tour. I went over to the unit to see Baskin Guy, and I introduced him as Baskin Guy. I said, the internet famous Baskin Guy, and he just looks over at us and says, she has no idea what you're talking about. I said, it's okay. Sometimes my jokes are just for me. So this may be a joke this may be a joke just for me. But on Ryan Kruger, the writer-director of this movie, on his IMDb page, if you go down to where like trivia and bloopers and stuff are, it says trademark is rarely seen without a hat on, which is the dumbest thing to be known for. Like, out of everything you've ever done, you're known for always wearing a hat.
Hold on. I'm going to Google images him real
kind of-
quick and see how quickly I can see him without a hat. Ryan Kruger, director.
I was trying to figure out what his middle name was, because at the beginning of the movie, spray painted on the wall, RMK. I thought, wonder if that's his name, spray painted on the wall.
Ryan Michael.
Michael. It's gotta be Michael.
No,
Like, did they just find a
Where's he?
spray
Look,
painted thing, or he
you
did
got a
like they
picture
spray
of him
painted
with
thing?
no hat on. Can we blackmail him?
It looks like he may be having a little bit of the thinning up top. That's probably the reason. But there's to be the guy that's apparently known for wearing a hat. There's the first
Yeah.
picture on Google Images, and then 3 without a hat till another hat.
Okay.
Maybe somebody needs to edit this shit on IMDb. That's all I'm saying. It's a little
I
ridiculous.
also liked on his trivia, hold on. There were at least 5 entries on trivia that was considered for a role in. Didn't get the fucking role. Just was considered for a role. Was considered for a role in Dread 2012, which is a great movie, by the way. Was considered for a role in Black Sails. Was just over and over. It's just, oh my gosh, it just cracks me up.
I almost auditioned for the bass player role in Annihilator once, but I didn't.
Oh, very nice.
You should have.
So
I'm going to update my IMDb. Was like,
Yeah.
considered auditioning for Pride and Prejudice.
Just so you guys know, there's a website called Backstage, and it allows you to audition for voiceover roles in anime and cartoons and shit like that. You guys should look into that. You guys have great voices.
They're always after me, Lucky Charms.
Not that one.
That's-
Don't do that one.
thank you.
That one's terrible.
Cam. Let's rate
What?
this movie.
Ugh.
Let's rate this
Rate the movie. Okay.
Uh,
Who's first?
Rate the movie.
Jeff, you started.
Jeff,
you
it's
picked this
Jeff
week.
picks, so he's last.
He is last. Tim, we will go clockwise and get this
Okay.
done. Give us your thoughts, final thoughts, and your rating.
Final thoughts. I looked for a deeper meaning in this movie. I don't know if it was worth a deeper look. It could have just been fanfare for fanfare. I don't know. I would say I would rate this movie, given all of its awards and everything, I was gonna give it a 5. But the fact that Dave said that like a lot of the dialogue was improv, I'll give it a 6.
Okay.
It didn't. I never felt like it was a horror movie except for the close-up cock shot. You know, because that was horrifying to me. I was like, and again, I told you guys, I was sitting there like watching the movie like this, and all of a sudden I was like, "That's a dick." Like that was my response to that. So I'm gonna give it a 6 for sure.
A 6 for Tim. All right. For me, so this drunk drug trip through a million events in a night or two is super. I mean, the few that I've had in my life, it's like we were here and then we fucking were here, and then at one point we were fucking playing basketball.
With the dildo?
Who decided to do this? And then all this shit. So I kind of like the, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then, which is, if you ever see that the South Park dudes have a clip on the internet that I've seen a million
Matt
times. They're
Stone
talking
and
about
Trey Parker.
they're talking about the story, the right way to tell a story. And it's like you have to do, therefore this happened, now this happened, now therefore this happened. You don't do it where it's this happened and then this happened and then this happened. And I think they're full of shit, because sometimes that's how you got to tell it, and that's what they did here. And I think it worked for me. Also, I saw some people complaining about all these people are giving Barry free drugs all the time. That doesn't happen. Yes, it does. It
But he
is
steals the X.
easy. But it's hard to recommend this to people, I would say. Except for maybe Bastion guy. This feels like he could probably get into some fried berry. Bastion
I
guy.
talked to him about it today. I think I put it on his list.
Yeah. But I like the visuals. It's a trip. If I didn't try to get any subtext, any kind of a deeper meaning. I literally was just on the trip with Barry through top to bottom. Because at first I was thinking I need to be paying deeper attention to this, but at a certain point I just gave up and was like, I'm just in this, because it's just bananas, and it's a journey through and all of this crazy shit, and that's all that I needed it for. Which is why I was quiet for most of this episode, because I didn't have anything to add for the subtext, because I was just like, I didn't do that part.
This just happened.
Yeah, it's like, yeah,
that is your subtext.
There's no other part to put in there for me. So, I got some nitpicks, but still, overall, weird movie. I'll give it a 7.
Okay.
Press rate's high.
Dave.
All right. Well, this movie is wacky and wonderful, but I think it is very much. This is going to be a very polarizing movie to a lot of people, I feel like, because this is not a Stella movie. I'm never going to expect Stella to watch this, because there's not that flow. It is disjointed, and event happens. Like you said, it's not event causes event. It just is. He's just sailing fucking through life, which again kind of fits with what I think is a kind of look at addiction. But Ryan Kruger, in the one interview that I did listen to, that it was like an hour-long interview, but they bullshitted and laughed a lot. I mean, he seems like a really cool dude. Never once mentioned his hat, so I kind of feel let down. But the main takeaway, and I was working, and so sometimes when I'm listening to a podcast and I'm working, sometimes the podcast will just become background noise and I'm not really picking up. So if I'm really trying to pick up what's being said, then I don't do podcast. I do music instead, because then I can kind of zone out and not feel like I'm missing anything. But I zoned out. I missed some stuff. Talking about the scene where the hooker gets pregnant, he talked about having to use her hands to hide where the prosthetic belly line was, because it was so prominent that they had to hide that to get any realistic look. But he also talked about how, yes, addiction is a theme of the movie, but mostly it is just like, hey, wouldn't this be wild if aliens decided to inhabit somebody and get a look at human life, but the person they picked was an addict? and would people even be able to tell the difference? So that it was pretty interesting. He seems like a cool dude. Again, this is not a Stella movie. I wouldn't recommend it to her, so it's not for everybody. But for me, I gave this movie a 7.
Another 7. 14 plus 6.
20.
9,000 points.
Jeff, this was your
42
pick.
points for Gryffindor.
What did you rate this? What are your thoughts?
Oh, I enjoy the movie. I mean, it is just, a romp kind of through, like, yeah, here's a drug addict, and then an alien takes him over or clones him, and then just does drugs, and, really cool shots and scenes, him just running around, get some nice scenery in there. At one point, he's pretending to fly. He leaves his shoes and socks flying through the air. Then all of a sudden, he's like walking on the street. So it's like, okay, so that probably didn't happen. He was just high. So a lot of stuff, like, you kind of wonder, like, did this happen? Did this not happen? Kind of a situation. A lot of bits that were just pure, just weird comedy. He ends up, and then Saints Asylum, which I feel like he picked like a lot, like, oh, I like this movie, so we'll add this kind of scene to this movie, kind of stuff. So I get that with like the whole One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest thing, or you get that Flight of the Navigator feel. I feel like at the ending when he's all like white and stuff, that's kind of the E.T. kind of a thing where, you know, he's dying, you know, and they got to send him back up to the ship. And of course, then they just dump out, you know, regular Barry, which I feel like everybody's going to be disappointed after that.
Right.
But yeah, I give the movie a 7 because it is just a weird movie to enjoy.
Oh,
I'm low man tonight.
Oh, I should have done it. I almost bought a cigar and told myself the first time Jeff and Tim don't rate the same, I'm going to whip that baby out. Mission fucking accomplished and fire it up. I should have fucking done it.
I watched
But
this and I was like, Jeff
thought
and
you
I are
guys would
not
be
going to
right
agree
in
on
line
this.
Yeah.
We're not going to agree on this. I didn't get the horror. I'm only rating it on horror elements. How uncomfortable does it make me feel in the horror aspect? It didn't make me feel that uncomfortable, so I rated it low.
Those sex scenes made me plenty uncomfortable.
Yeah, not in the horror aspect though.
Barry Jr.
So that gives us an average score of 6.75, mostly thanks to one person dragging down the score.
Tim.
So this is great. Another successful episode, gentlemen.
It just goes forever. Jeff.
Ice cream of the week. Your confetti.
Dave.
Hey!
I hit the wrong one.
Chris.
Lowest rate of the week.
Fuck. I hit
Nope,
the wrong
that was
one.
me.
I was being coy and fucking okay. Anyways, that does it. That does it for another week in the horror house. In the horror pod house cast. Anyways,
You guys should look forward to some Horror Hound content because we're all 4 going. And I'm looking very much forward to being with Chris as the man behind the camera, watching Dave and Jeff interview horror icons. So you guys should look forward to that.
Looking for Chris running away from the camera.
I'm already.
Nope.
I'm
He's just gonna be
so far
behind the
away.
camera with me on. We're gonna be holding hand, fingers interlaced because we're that close.
Hold on to him so they don't run away.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm really thinking about making a sign that to stop people and invite them in for the world's dumbest interview, and just interviewing everybody that walks by. If my camera people are up to it.
I am down. I have said it. I've said it once after the Chuddies. Dave on the street is phenomenal. So we need more Dave on the street. So yes, I will 100% back that play. You have business cards now, you said?
I just ordered a new set of business cards, and I would need everybody in the horror house to cross your fingers that the Crow is there again.
Okay.
That,
and his friend
Sting,
Batman.
I'm sorry, Sting is there again. Please let Sting be there. So
Okay. Fingers crossed. Let's do it, guys.
You have to work in a joke to where you can do the zip away again. Otherwise,
I'm gonna rock it out. We're gonna do good. I think I just ordered 100 business cards. I'm hoping to give every single one of them out. Maybe some stickers, maybe something else. You know, I don't know. The giveaways. But some interviews. I'm super excited to talk to Ty West. Ty West, I've decided that's the #1 guy. I think I'm really into the filmmakers at this point in my career. So I'm really excited to maybe meet Ty West and talk to him a little bit.
And we're like 3 weeks away, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So it's not that far away. So we're going on a Saturday, I believe. We will not be here for that podcast. What? No, sorry, we film on Thursdays. What am I talking about?
It is Thursday.
We'll be there with the week after. I think that Dave should send clips to Chris and I, and we'll edit them down and make them viewable and shit like that. But yeah, so the week after Horror Hound, which is I believe the 24th, 21st. So after that, look for some Horror Hound footage, hopefully. If we can find the time to edit it down. If not, the week after. But yeah, that'll be dope. I'm excited. I've never been to a horror convention. I've been to a lot of gaming conventions. So I'm excited to go to a horror convention. I know I'm going to see a lot of Michael Myers shit. Not super excited about that, guys. Not still creeps me out to this day.
There was a place last year that it was a booth that sold entire replicas of his stuff.
No,
top to
fuck
bottom.
you.
Top to bottom. So
I love you. Fuck you.
They had
you. Fuck you.
Life-size mannequins standing around. It was at the front too, so you always never missed it. Never missed it.
And there were some cult members trying to recruit you into the cult of Michael Myers.
No, fuck that.
Do that porn stuff.
For those who don't know, Michael Myers still freaks me out. I'm a 35-year-old man. Scares the shit out of me. All right, so that's good. No,
You just haven't watched the Paul Rudd one.
fuck
yet.
you, lady. Jen was doing shh in my ear over here.
That's Jason.
Yeah.
Jason.
That's Jason. You fucked up.
Michael
still
Myers
scares
is
me.
silent, but the music for Halloween is the best. It's that.
Oh yeah, it's phenomenal. Learned how to play it on piano because I'm a sycophant. But yeah,
All right.
no, guys, look forward to that content because I think it'll be fun.
We'll talk about it more as we go on. But next week, Dave, it is your pick. Finally, it is Dave time. Tell him what we're doing.
Completely unintentional. I didn't realize really till tonight that the substance has some drug theme with the substance. Obviously, Fried Berry has some drug theme, and Demon Disorder, which also maybe has some drug theme. We'll see what you guys think. And but Demon Disorder, which I think is Australian, so this actually puts us 3 movies in a row also that were not shot in the States.
Wow.
With the Substance was shot in London, Fried Berry in Cape Town, and I believe Demon Disorder was shot in Australia, down under, as they say. Kids say these days.
So watch that, and we'll be back in 7 days or so.
There we go.
So goodbye.
Bye.
Stay creepy.
I'm gonna do this until we cut off.